be spending the next 100 hours stuck in the studio trying to finish an entire album. This is the room I'll be suffering in for the next 4 days. If I fail to finish 10 songs within 100 hours, I'll have to shave my head and my face.
It became personal with me.
If I succeed, I'll have an entire album, crazy production skills, and a new sound. Mid-tempo like Rez, any other mid-tempo artist. This is probably my second favorite genre. The drums first, as always. We're gonna have a hard little kick. Metallic sounding hi-hat on the offbeats. We're gonna layer the snare, and then we're gonna go ahead and alternate. Have a noisy snare. We're just gonna have some white noise. All you have to do, take a white noise sample, do the offset so it's just this little part right here. You can do the length exactly how you want it. 2 different ride samples. So we're gonna have a right one and a left one. So this one's panned all the way to the left. This one's panned all the way to the right. Add another hat loop. So we have a few different basses. First, we're gonna have a nice little Reese bass. Reese. The next bass, I layered that Reese and then had a higher octave one that sounds like this. Distorted kind of things. We got the tube, we got hyperdimension compressor, reverb EQ filter. And I took a lot of the low end out. That way we can layer it with this Reese. Where there's nothing playing, we're gonna go ahead and add some glitches. Drone that's going to be going the whole time. Just on one note. We want the snare. We just want a little snare build up and a white noise build up. Now I'll move on to the chord. Basically, we wanted to keep these chords simple. The root notes with a little bit of melody attached. Then we have this rhythm synth. It's going to add a little bit of movement. So we got a muted pluck that's layered with serum and layered with another light droplet and octave higher. Adding like complex rhythms in there makes it so much more interesting. We have a lead, classic lead here. Change things a little bit. Get a little voice sample edgiator. And that's just a little bit of panematic right there. So it's going back and forth. And then the cool thing about mid-tempo is usually 90 to 110. Cool little thing I did here is automate the tempo. Basically, we want to start at 110. We're going to rise up. We're going to get to 126. For that little bridge section, I wanted to add ambient not even vocals, but like spoken word. Got a few different ones.
Welcome to the awakening.
So same panematic, lots of delay, lots of reverb. And I got this little countdown.
10,
Now layered it.
7,
Octave higher.
6, 5,
Octave lower.
4.
Let's made this an organ. Then we added some strings. With a snare. Risers here. In between we have some vocal risers like this.
Subscribe to see production tutorials, artist development videos, and videos like this.
Alrighty, today we're gonna be making some house. 4 to the floor, like any house track, you know what I'm saying? Add an open hat on the offbeats. Add a clap. Layer that with a nice little shaker loop with a bunch of perks. We're gonna make a little bass right here. Sort of like a plucky bass. 808 layer here. Some piano. The only instruments in the high end are gonna be the piano. This nice little melody rhythm synth right here. So a little synth pluck, octave lower, give some variation. Then we have some variation to the chords. Some organ, filtered organ. Straight up cut a bunch of the high end. So the piano's taking up the high end, the organ inside of that ambient layer. Layer those 3. Then we have a more catchy bass to kind of get people hyped. Take that distortion out if you want. It's up to you. And then the third bass is just a straight up Reese. Man, I love that Reese. Super, you got that sub 2 octaves lower. We live, baby. We live. If you're liking this video, make sure you smash that like button. Alright, it is day 2. So it's going to be a little bit more creative, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to get a little more creative for the second half of this challenge. So first, we have this eerie drum. We have another sort of harp. That's pretty cool. It's playing all of that. It's the vocals. We added some. So I basically wanted this to be kind of eerie, but creative, you know what I'm saying? Vocal riser. So we start with a hard kick.
Right snare. Then I'm a drummer, so I went ahead on my drum pad and tried to figure out some cool little rhythms I could add into this. Nothing too complex, but just something a little interesting, you know? Usually don't hear much with a snare. Some cool little snare riffs here.
Then we had another one with a different snare. I was inspired by Soldier of Love by Sade. Basically the whole thing, there's a bunch of concert snares and just different snares alternating. So I wanted to do something like that. Go ahead and add some bass. Just a super distorted 808, overdrive, and some really hard distortion. We just grabbed a vocal sample.
Oh, I'm feeling low again.
Bridge, we went ahead and grabbed different respace, but super distorted variation in terms of arrangement. We're going to change up the snare a lot. We can make this drone go an octave higher like I did here, then layer it at the end. We go halftime, so we change the drums up a little bit. We're going to go halftime. Then we're going to change the key. Change the key again, even higher. If you like that song, wait till hour 100 when we have 10 in all different genres, if I make it that long. Now we're gonna get into some dubstep. Start with the chords. Have some super thick chord, straight up piano. And we're gonna layer that with the pad. It's a really, really warm pad. We need to reconsolidate all of these so the CPU isn't freaking out, but we also have this high synth. It's like a little pluck. And we have strings layered with those chords as well. The arpeggiators. Then let's look at this. So this is gonna be the bulk of it. So that's just the intro. And in the very intro, we have a bunch of like vocal, kind of weird eerie. And I wanted to transition into major. It's a super minor, rise onto major. But then we go into the drums and all the drop. Just nice little kick. Really reverb click. And I like to cut it like a beat right before. And then I did a huge piano run right here. And then layered that with some other perks. Then for this section, same kick. Then we're going to layer this with the clap and the traps. Then we have all these chord layers. So these are going to play a specific rhythm like this. So we have this one that's like this. Then we have plucked. Then we have the low layer. And of course we have the lead melody, which is going to sound like this. So this is like strong stabs layered with a chariot horn, which just really fills it out. So just make some kind of like arpeggio and just kind of like play around with it until it sounds really cool. And then to fill in the space, then you add an organ. So this was melodic cinematic dubstep. And that kick, really cinematic, all these risers. Here I did a little thing where I kind of ended, added an extra beat. So that's a little bit interesting thing. Okay, and then the bass. We just have a simple respace here. Sort of playing underneath with that same rhythm. And then the bridge we can just do straight long. And I also layered it with crunchy rolls. Which on its own kind of sounds kind of weird, but layered with this bass. So we just want to fill in that space. And I want it to slide up. So instead of doo-doo, it's going to go ahead and slide up with this port tone. A super hard kick is what we're going to start with. And go ahead and turn that volume up way over here. Makes it hit a little bit harder. Add a bunch of compression, all that kind of stuff. Layer that with a little clap. And then just straight up, just fill in each two steps. Open hat at the beginning. For the kicks, this is what I like to do. I just straight up go to the drums, go to the kick. You can Control A, Control C, straight up go to the 808, copy paste, and then all you have to do is drag it to the notes that you want. Super distorted. So all we have to do, get a good 808. Make sure you tune in everything. We've got limiter, of course. That's going to be the side chain. Side chain it right here to the kick. Then we have blood overdrive. Super distorted. Alright, so we got some chords now. That's just going to be this. All these different effects. You can go and check that out if you want. So just straight up chords. E flat. We're going to layer that with a little ARP. Just going to have enlightenment. 2 different ARPs. We're going to have a little bit of panometric to that. Sounds like it's going around in a circle, but it's really going back and forth. We're going to make 2 different melodies. So the first one is going to be the organ. We're going to make a pluck. And just alternate between those 2. And so basically we're going to alternate, and then we can do that little ARP and that chords. And I mean, this is hip hop. We're just going to make it simple, baby. That's pretty much it. So we got the drums, we got the 808, got the little arpeggiator to make it sound like EDM. We got the chords. We've got 2 different melodies. Not simple, baby. Just make sure you distort that bass. And the kick. Make sure you sidechain the kick as well. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? First, let's grab a kick. We're just gonna do 4 to the floor. Open hand on every offbeat. Clap. Layer that with the click and a rim shot. Some little ride with the offbeat. A little shaker. Add some little white noise and go ahead and automate it down a little bit. Little filter. Hyperdimension, distortion, EQ, delay. Let's get bass number 2, which is a synth bass. Pretty much like a Reese. Then we go ahead and move on to the melodies. We're just gonna choose a scale. It's like sort of a shorter lead and then a more ambient lead. Call and response. And we have a big melody, which is gonna be our lead. So you layer those together. It's a simple little melody. For the drop, we're gonna have a vocal riser and also a snare build. Then when it hits, we're gonna have a little impact and a downlifter. We have the drop. We're gonna add some ARPs. We changed up the lead synth a little bit, so this lead melody is changing. And then for our bridge kind of thing, we're gonna add an organ. Just straight up synth bass. Just the kick. Add some shaker. Back in.
"30 hours later. Mission complete. 10 songs and 100 hours. It was hard, but we did it. If you are trying to do everything yourself as a musician or entrepreneur, keep going. I believe in you. Believe in yourself. We will win in the end." Preview in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
If I said goodbye and make me
purpose of this video was to inspire you and hopefully entertain you. I also wanted to show how deadlines and challenges force us to grow. I only made 10 songs in 100 hours that fast because of my FL Studio template. So make sure you watch this template video right here, and I'll see you there.